Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Don't forget to like this video. And don't forget to click the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified when there's a new upload. Here's the front page of the channel. The bottom arrow is pointing at the subscribe button that's normally red until you click on it, and this one turns white after you subscribe. The top arrow is pointing to the bell. Now, the bell doesn't show up until after you click the subscribe button, and then the bell will show up, and that way you can be notified of new uploads. Our blog is texasrepublic.wordpress.com. Our website is thetexasrepublic.com. Our email address is oneyellowroseenterprises@gmail.com. Our YouTube profile is, this is the link, because YouTube doesn't allow us to have a customized URL until we have over a certain number of subscribers. And follow us on Twitter at Texas Republic for You and at We Are Texians. Check out our other videos and playlists. Republic of Texas RT documentary. Texas and other American states is under a military occupation. The Republic of Texas Forum of 2016. And describe the kind of people who would thrive in independent Texas. And so check them out.
Okay, Carrie, are you unlocked? Hello, Carrie. Unmute yourself. Okay. You there?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Who wants to be first tonight to tell us about some fantastic news or something?
Well, I'll go first, but I don't have fantastic news.
Okay.
Carrie, I was just wondering if you had anyone anyone get a second call from the IRS counsel for the commissioner?
Yes, we've had that.
What do they ask? I just got that call today for my wife's petition, and I talked to the guy. He wouldn't give me any information. He wanted to talk to her, and she's afraid to talk to him. What do they typically ask in the second call?
They're all done now if she didn't get on it. But they ask you how many kids you have, how long your hair is, what No, they just ask you the same thing they did the first time.
Whether you object to the motion?
Yep, pretty much. And then they're asking who told you to do this and why did you do this. And the answer I'm telling people to say is, and see, again, the way I'm just a nut job. Let me ask you what they're asking. Why did you want to do this? Tell me what you would tell them.
Because I'm being levied.
Now it's about you. Ask me the same question.
How would you do this?
Why would I do this? Why not?
Okay.
See, you're defense. Why would you do this? Well, because they're levying me and I want to kick their ass. See, I. See, and when they ask me, why are you doing this? Why not? See? Now they're on defense. See? Well, do you know what's against the law? Cool. What's against the law? See? In other words, it's against the law. Why would you try to explain that? See? My answer would be, wow, what's against the law? He made the comment, let him tell you. See? But that's just the way I am.
Well, that's actually a good strategy to take, I think.
Well, that's my strategy on everything. See?
Yeah, I I'm glad I asked you because I'm not sure I would have answered it in a smart way otherwise.
Right. Now, think about this a minute. Do you eat chicken?
What kind of chicken?
Roosters.
Roosters aren't chickens.
You see how simple that is? As soon as you said what chickens, I now have to give you an answer.
Right.
Okay? I see. I'm from Dallas, and in Dallas, they have these chicken wing places. There's this whole bunch of there's a new franchise up here, and they're selling chicken lips, fried chicken lips. See, if you get a chance to try it, it's really good.
I had a second question on the. I got the letter back from the lawyer. It's a several-page letter, but the court hasn't entered the one-page motion on the tax court's what do you call it, docket series. Is there something wrong there, you think?
Well, I don't think it's a letter. It's probably their motion. See?
Well, this was about a 5-page letter from the lawyer.
Yep. It's not okay. It starts like this. Dear taxpayer, redundant.
No, it says respondent moves that.
See, that is a motion. Do you understand that?
Yeah. It says motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction. You're right.
It's a motion, so it's not a letter. That's a court document. That's
okay.
going to become your most powerful tool. And the reason for it, the court's going to give it to them just as it says. So what you're going to do is you're going to keep that. When the judge signs the order goes on the back of that, and there's your package. Does that make sense? Then you put a cover letter with it. Because you don't have what the IRS is saying is it doesn't say what you think it says. Here's what it says. They're saying that the reason the court don't have jurisdiction because, see, that's not what it says. It says the petitioner. But now, do you know who the petitioner is?
Yeah, the commissioner.
Right, but he's just a janitor. So what they're saying is the janitor said. Isn't that right?
Oh, I'm sorry, the petitioner is me.
No, you're right. The respondent. Who's the respondent?
The commissioner of the Internal Revenue Service.
Okay, he's not the janitor. See, when the IRS agent says that's not what it says, my comeback is, your boss said it was. I'll take it up with him. Then what you do is you answer them using that motion. Put a cover letter with it. See? You highlight the sections that need to be highlighted, and it's going to tell you in there why they're doing it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, let me tell you how effective it is. Last week, I got 11 calls I got more than 11 calls, but I got 11 calls from different people that got their Social Security reinstated for the first time in years, 100% of their check.
Wow.
Now, let me tell you how devastating this is to them. A lady called me today and said she's on her way to the bank because the IRS is asking to have her taxes, money that she owes them for 2019. Do you understand what they're asking for? They want to seize her checking account because she didn't pay her 2019 taxes.
Right.
Okay. Doesn't that seem odd to you or not?
Well, they're getting desperate, I guess.
Well, wait a minute. This is 2019. They're not due until April.
That's right.
See, they're not even due. but they're down there at the bank. And so when we confronted them, the IRS agent said, well, your court order says 2000 to 2018. It don't say 2019, so we want those. Wait a minute. How much are they? We don't even know. He said, it doesn't matter. We'll take them. We'll take the money, and then she can do a 1040, and then we'll give back the overage. See, in other words, have you ever heard of such a thing? They're asking her to pay taxes 9 months before the end of the year.
That's probably because she doesn't have any withholding.
Okay, but that doesn't matter whether you have withholding or not. He didn't ask for withholding. He said he wants the taxes due. How much? All right. How much taxes do you owe for 2020?
Hell if I know. None.
We're going to go ahead and seize your retirement account.
I don't have any income, so I don't owe any taxes, and I'm not a withholding agent, and I'm not a.
I'm glad you said that. Let me ask you a question. Are you a taxpayer?
I do pay taxes, yes.
Okay. See what you just did? Okay. That was a yes or no answer question, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Then why did you go into that? That's what I'm trying to teach people. Here's the problem. Okay. Now,
I should ask what's a taxpayer.
There you go. Or yes or no. But see, you're saying, well, I pay taxes and. See, now you've given me enough ammunition to come after you. Now, I want you to answer this as truthful as you can. Do you know what 12 inches is?
12 inches is let's see, it's...
Hello? I mean, it's a simple question. Why can't you answer it? They don't get any simpler than that. What is 12 inches?
It's the number of increments on a ruler.
Okay. There's another word for it. Can you tell me what it is?
Yeah, it's a foot.
See what you just did? Okay, so do you have any grandchildren?
No.
Do you have any children?
No.
Okay, do you have a wife?
Yes.
Okay, on the end of her ankle, what does she have?
On what?
On the end of her ankle, what does she have?
Something called a foot.
See, so she has 12 inches on the end of her ankle, correct?
No, she has a human foot.
Wait a minute. See what you just did? Now you're backing up. Stop that. See? In other words, you made the determination. When I asked you what 12 inches was, you said it's a foot. So my grandson's got his foot is 2 inches. So what do you call that? What would you call that? See? My wife's foot is only 8 inches. What do you call that?
So a foot.
Feet? Nope. See what you did? You put yourself in a box. That's what we're doing. See? In other words, when someone asks me, well, what's 12 inches? My answer is, man, I'm glad you asked. 12 inches of what? They have to tell me so that when I say it, I protect myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
See, that's what we're doing. You know, you're giving me your life history. You're giving me your life history, and we don't need that. What we need to do is answer the question that's asked, not the question you think they asked. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, now, what state are you in? I mean, where do you live? You don't have to tell me the address, but just, I'm in Texas. Where are you at?
Pennsylvania.
So, have you ever flown from Pennsylvania to anywhere else? I mean, have you ever been to Texas or Maine or California or Florida? And did you ever fly there?
Fly? What do you mean by fly?
See, if you'd have said yes, I would have said, did your arms get tired? No, wait a minute. See, now you're defending. That's exactly what I would say. Fly? I don't know. What do you mean by fly? See, if they define it, you can control what's being said. Does that make sense? Okay. Yes. Now, I'm going to ask you another question. I just want you to answer the question. Are you a taxpayer?
What do you mean by taxpayer?
See? Now I have to, now what I have to do, someone that pays taxes.
What kind of taxes?
Well, any kind.
Any kind?
Yeah.
Sure.
See, now you're protected because, see, I didn't say income taxes. I didn't say sales taxes. See, so now that you know you're comfortable with it, then when they come back and say, well, he won't fill out 1040. No, I didn't say I didn't say I paid 1040 taxes. I said I paid taxes. When I buy a gallon of gas, 50 or 60 cents of it is taxes. I pay that.
Right.
I hope that made sense for you.
Yeah, I picked that up. By the way, I was listening to an audio on yourlaw.org or something like that, and there's a guy on there named TJ, and he mentioned your name. He says you're one of the exemplars for his word power program. So,
yeah, I know TJ.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah. But see, what the problem is, I want to ask you a question. You said you had no children, right?
Yes.
Guess what?
That's what I said.
Okay, so do you have children?
What kind of children?
Boys or girls?
Neither.
Okay, so you have no children.
Correct.
Do you see what you made me do? That's the proper answer. Are you married by any chance?
What do you mean by married?
Do you have a significant other?
I do.
Okay. By any chance, would your significant other be a male or a female?
A woman.
See what you're doing? Now, I would have said no, because then I would have had to ask one more question. Well, what is she or what is he? Then you could have said, see, do you see what you've done now?
Yeah.
Not where I can take you, but where you want to go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask you, do you mind if I ask you one more?
Go ahead.
Okay. If I use a sports analogy, will you understand it?
We'll find out.
Okay. Why do they put a net around the goal in football?
What kind of football?
See what you just did? That's exactly the answer. Because soccer is called football, and they got it around the net so you know you scored. Or if it's American football, keep the ball from going into the stands. But see, just one question let you understand, and you're able to answer that and protect yourself. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
And see, that's all I'm trying to do here. Is I'm not trying to give you any mental telepathy here. I'm just trying to show you how to protect yourself. That's all.
Okay.
I hope that made sense.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. But now, when somebody else has a question, ask it. I'm just going to keep rattling on. But I want you to understand today. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead and finish what you were going to say first.
Okay. What I was going to tell you is, so we're in the middle of an argument with the bank that the IRS wants their money for 2019's taxes. They're not even due yet. They haven't even been filed yet. They're not even ready to go yet. Yet they're going to go to the bank. The bank is going to give it. So guess what we're going to sue the bank for?
Grand larceny.
I don't care what it is. But see, what we're doing now is, do you know how to eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Okay, what we're doing now is we're giving that bank one bite at a time. They're going to get in a position where they're not going to like the position because, see, What they're saying is that's not what that means. You don't have, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to just keep handing them the rope until they throw it over the pole. Then we're going to pull them up by the neck, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to understand. The IRS is in there getting 2019 taxes. Nobody in this country has filed their 2019 taxes yet. Nobody.
Yep, so there's no lien, no levy.
Well, that's right. Well, not only that, we had another guy today. I'm trying to remember. This was a different guy, and I'm trying to remember what he told me. I'll think of it here in a minute. And it was pretty wild what they're doing. And see, the reason they're doing it is they're disoriented because they don't know how to handle when you ask them a question. See, I know what it was. He was told that if he didn't file his 1040 personal income tax return, that they would go down and they would do it for him, and they would do a substitute for return. So we countered that with, you can't do a substitute for return. But before, what we did first is it went out today. What we did is we got the IRS agent's name, took the letter that they wrote him, we wrote a letter to match that. In other words, where they said whatever they said, we said the same thing. Here's what you said, and then we sent them the part where they can't do an SFR for a 1040. Yet they said 1040. Then what we did is we took the 1040 instruction booklet, printed out that page 109 where it says you have to file a return or statement. We highlighted that and asked, how does this say 1040? I'm missing something. Send me your bar card so I can believe you. So that's the package that went back to them. They're saying that he has to file a 1040 income tax return. Yet the 1040 booklet says you have to file a return or statement. So, and it tells, and we use that. Here's where it gives you your information. Here's where we use the same verbiage right in his cover letter, and we send it back to him. And see, what's happening is we're using their language, and then what the IRS agent said to me here a couple of weeks ago was, well, you can't use our documents to fill out your tax return. I said, oh, how come we can't? Well, it may not be right. Well, then how do I know what what I say is right, and we can use this, see? But what we're doing is we're using the Internal Revenue Manual. That's their Bible. And the Internal Revenue Manual states that they can't do a substitute for return. It says it right there in black and white. And we took that, we quoted it to them, put it in there, and sent it back to them. So I can only imagine they're pulling their hair out because they're asking somebody to fill out a 1040 form for their 2019 taxes. The problem is they're not even out yet. That just shows you how frustrated they are.
Kerry, don't you think that they're probably, when I get a pension check every month, I take some out before I stopped all my withholding. So you have these periodic payments throughout the year, and if you don't do that, you're supposed to do quarterly payments. And I think isn't there a regulation that says that they can go after you if you're not making your quarterly payments?
Absolutely. It does say that, no question about it. Now, I'm going to ask you a question because this is the question you basically asked me. A 1040 form is an income tax return. Would you agree with that statement?
That's what it says on it.
Okay. So what do you pay taxes on?
Income.
Okay. Now you got a problem. Now I'm confused. See? Now
I see your argument. I think they're making the presumption that you are making income.
That's not a problem. But wait a minute. I do make income. I make income every day. Now I make gross income, net income, taxable income, non-taxable income, I make total income, I make foreign income, I make state income, and I make federal income. Which one of those do I have to pay tax on? Surely not all of them. Otherwise, I got to pay tax. I'll be paying them more than I make. See, that's the problem. In other words, income is not defined anywhere in the IRS's realm. Total income is. Total income is defined. Gross income is defined as profit and gain. But I don't have profit and gain because I make wages. Well, wages isn't defined as income. Income is not defined. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So their presumption is that I'm making income when it's not defined. So I'm going to ask you a question. It's kind of a Texas thing. You said you live up in Pennsylvania, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you guys eat rattlesnake meat up there in Pennsylvania?
What kind of rattlesnake?
Texas Diamondbacks.
I don't.
How do you know?
How do I know I don't?
Yeah.
Because I think I would know if I did.
Well, see, wait a minute. If you caught it and fixed it, you would. I'm not picking on them, and I'm not in any way trying to slam them. Have you ever gotten a McRib? What in the heck's a McRib?
No, I don't go to McDonald's.
That's not what I asked you. See how you're giving me too much information. See, a McRib is what? I don't know. See? It's some kind of meat shaped like a rib. So you don't know if you eat rattlesnake or not because you don't even, right? Then what, if you did, what do you think it tastes like?
I have no idea.
Well, let me tell you what it tastes like so that when you eat that, you'll know. It tastes like grilled bald eagle.
Is that a legal determination?
No, I'm just telling you a fact. See? Texas Diamondbacks smoked tastes just like smoked bald eagle.
I'll have to take your word for it.
That's right, because you've never eaten either one. See, that's the problem we have. We're trying to answer something that we have no clue.
Right.
Are you in front of a computer by any chance?
I am.
Would you do me a favor? Would you look up Title 31, Section 321, little d, as in dog, and the number 2. When you do, come back on and read it. That's going to define federal income for you. See, we have too many incomes for them to not tell you what it is. Go ahead.
3-1.
Nope. 3-2-1. You're counting backwards. 3-2-1.
3-2-1. Okay. General authority of the Secretary?
There you go. So this is the general authority of the Secretary. It's a little bitty d and the number 2. Read just the first couple of words and then stop.
Which under subparagraph A?
No, little d. Yes.
Little b?
D as in dog.
Oh, D, okay. Yeah, I got it. The Secretary of the Treasury may accept, hold.
No, you're too far. D, number 2.
Oh, number 2, okay. For the purposes of the federal income.
Stop right there. Stop right there. Do you think this is going to be important?
Of course it is.
See, this is for the purposes of federal income. We're going to finish that in a minute. So when you're doing your 1040 form, that's a personal income tax return. How can you do Chinese taxes if you don't know what Chinese taxes are? See, if you're doing a 1040, that's a federal income tax return. So for the purposes of federal income, let's find out what it is so we can decide if we have it in order to fill it out. Go ahead.
Okay, then it says a state and gift taxes, comma, property accepted under paragraph 1 shall be considered as a gift or bequest.
Okay, stop right there. Of the United States. Okay, so what is for the purposes of federal income? What is it?
A gift or a bequest.
Now, when you go to work, do you get gifts or bequests, or do you get a salary, wages, a check? I mean, I'm asking you, what do you get?
Well, I'm retired, so I get a pension check.
See, but is that a gift?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Okay, then you need to pay taxes.
For the purposes of the federal income.
See? For the purposes of federal income, if I work my whole life, and that's my money, I put it away, how can that be a gift? It's mine.
Yep.
Right? I'm asking you. I don't know. So my next question would be, does a federal employee, someone that works for the federal government, do they have to file a 1040 form?
I would say yes before, but after listening to you, I have to say no because they don't make any income.
See? You see? In other words, if income is not defined and the federal government pays their employees, what are they paying them with?
Federal Reserve notes.
I don't know. Well, I don't think they are. I don't think the federal government pays them in Federal Reserve notes. I think they do it either in digits or a check.
Yeah, they get a check, but when they cash it, they get FRNs.
Well, see, but that's 2 steps. Okay, let me ask you a question then. If I eat chicken going in, is it chicken coming out? See, that's step 2. So, do you know what money is, by the way?
Yeah, checkable liabilities of a bank.
Okay, that's right. So, if it's checkable liabilities of a bank, when they get paid, do they get paid with a checkable liability of a bank? When they take and put it in their account, it's no longer the bank's. So how could that be money?
All right.
I'm asking. See, I'm just asking. See,
no, once you cash the check, it's no longer a checkable liability of the bank until you put it back in the bank.
Okay, then. So if you get paid $100 and you deposit it 6 times, is that so? You made $600 that week? No. You see, all I did is I said what you said. Well, I mowed my neighbor's yard. He gave me $100, so I went to the bank so I could keep my account open. I deposited $100, drew it out, put it in, drew it out, put it in, drew it out, put it in. I made $600 on that one guy's yard over there. See? In other words, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I ask. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So if you're retired, tell me what that means, because you said you were retired. What does that mean?
Oh, I'm retired from the job that I used to have.
See, now you're changing your story, aren't you?
No, I'm still retired.
Okay, then what does retired mean?
Retired means,
See,
I guess
it's not that easy. It's not that easy, is it?
You could take it globally that you're retired from everything, or you could just say I'm retired from my previous job.
See, but you see that's what I make them do. Are you retired from what? See?
Got it.
And that's just the way I do it. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you I don't give legal advice. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to help you get your Social Security, if they're taking it, to get it back, because the Social Security Administration is the weak link. And let me tell you why I say that. I look at the situation that you're in, and I find the weakest link, and that's the one I put all my barnacles on. Now, if you have a chain that can lift 100,000 pounds, and you have a 100-pound link, How much weight can you lift with a 100,000-pound chain?
If I have a chain that can lift 100,000 pounds and I have a 100-pound link?
Yep. And there's one link that can only hold, the chain's 100 feet long. One link can lift 100 pounds. How much can that chain lift? How much can that chain lift?
Well, it would probably fail at 100 pounds.
That's exactly right. That's what I try to do. Okay, that's what I try to do. Is I try to find the weak link, and that's what I attack. Someone, they put star 6.
Huh?
I've got to get my glasses.
Making all that noise,
Okay.
did you
I'm getting some crosstalk.
star
Yeah.
6?
Yeah, Deb Waters.
Okay. Ed, can you just hit star? What do you call it? Quiet everybody, Ed, and I'll come back on.
Ed, mute yourself.
Mute everybody, Ed.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Now, if you get your tax court order, with that tax court order, they don't just roll over for you. You have to fight with them anyways. Now, the reason you have to fight with them, you have to fight with them because they don't want to give up. They don't want to give up what they're taking from you. See? So there's certain things that we're doing with that court order that's making them release liens and things. We can still get them released, and so if you have your court order and you need some help with getting something released, get a hold of Ed, and him and I will help you get whatever it is you need to get. Now, does anybody else have a question?
I just wanted to say I was tired yesterday and I was tired today, so I was retired too.
See? You see how that all of a sudden now it takes on its legs of its own. I love that. That's right. See, when I was in high school, they told me I was retarded, so I've been retarded since high school.
I have a question.
I didn't hear that.
I have a question. Does the 2358 have to be received before the 12-227? I mean 277, and
okay.
The filing.
That's completely two different issues. The 12277 is a form that the IRS gives you to release liens.
Right.
The 2358C is a letter that they say you don't have to file taxes. So it's two different things. You can go after both of them at the same time. Okay. The 12277 form, if you have a lien, you'd be the only person I know that has a lien. It's going to be a notice of lien. But you fill out the 12277 and you send your tax court order with it. When you do, the person on the other end, an IRS agent on the other end, is going to come back and tell you that you don't qualify because of Title, well, it doesn't say Title 26, but it's 6332J. Then they tell you what it says. Then what we're doing is we're going after that agent because we need to see their bar card, because Title 26 is a statute. That means in order for them to tell you that you didn't file your taxes because of 7701B1Q.3, they're making a legal determination. The only person that can tell you that is an attorney or a judge. So if an agent says you're not filing, or you filed or you didn't file because, and they quote you a statute, that means that they're practicing law without a license. Because Title 26, on its face, it's a statute. So They've got it so screwed up, only an attorney can do that. So anything they give me, I just challenge it. It doesn't make me any difference whether I'm right or wrong. I just throw it out there. Does that make sense?
Yes. Next question. Do I need either or both of those to file to get the money back?
Okay, you need those. You need those and thems and she's.
Okay, do I need a 12-277 filed already, and do I need to receive a 2358 in order to file a claim?
That's a third step. None of these are interconnected. See, what you do need, if you do it the way I'm doing it, you'll need to get your court order because that's your proof.
I have that.
Okay, then that's all you need to get your money. To get your money back. Now, what you have to do is you have to go forward. If you want to do a 12277, that releases the liens. And that's fine. Before you do that, go to the county and get a copy of your liens, because if the IRS does not have jurisdiction, now listen to this real closely. If the IRS does not have jurisdiction and they put $2 million worth of notices of liens against you, you can get that $2 million back on the grounds they've already been paid because they monetized it. If they don't have jurisdiction, that means anything they touched has to be returned. Any withholding, any penalties, any interest, if they took a house, if they put you in jail, anything the IRS touched without jurisdiction, you get that back. Now, that is separate from the 12277. You're trying to get the liens released, see? But go to the county and get the liens so you have proof of it, because that's going to go with your package. In other words, if you got a court order saying they didn't have jurisdiction, and you go in there and have those liens released, and then you tell them that they owe you $2 million, they're going to say, prove it. You have no proof. So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So the problem that we're having right now, people are bringing stuff on themselves, is they go A, B, G, L, Q. See, you can't do that. You have to eat an elephant one bite at a time. So the question is, do you want to go to the United States District Court and fight the IRS on taxes, or would you like to fight them on something else? And that's what we're faced with. See, in other words, once you get all of your ducks in a row, then you have all this foundation that you can do. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you still with me?
Yes.
Okay. What are the rules of a bar fight?
I'm not sure there are any.
Oh, there are. There are. You win. Cheat if you have to. What is the IRS doing? They're cheating. So we're not in a tax war. This isn't a mind game. This is a bar fight. See? So when you go to the bar and get in a fight, take an ice pick, a hammer, steel-toed boots, brass knuckles. See? We have to take whatever it takes. And so I'm asked all the time, well, will this work? I don't know. Let's try it. See, we're not in a civilized fight. We're in a bar fight. See, we're in a behind the bar after hours fight.
Now, do I need any specific type of copy from the county? I got a copy, of course, like you've discussed before. They only gave me the front side. It's not.
See, that's to your advantage, because that's an improper document. If you want the back, I'll send you the back. But in order for them to give you, that's why it's a notice, because it's not proper. But if you go and look, Go ahead.
But I don't need them to certify it or stamp it or notarize. Just
just call them, and if you want to, you can go to the county and get them, and then just get them and get them copied, because I copy $5 or $6 a piece. But see, now you have a total. Okay. Just for the fun of it, if you don't mind, you can ballpark it here. What is the dollar amount of your liens?
That's an interesting question, because I have one serial number on two different liens. In other words, I have two recording numbers and one serial number. Each one says $1.5 million.
Okay, so you have $3 million right there. So this is the problem that we're having. See, the numbers are not small. If you go all the way back to 2000, a lot of people went 2000 to 2018 or 2000 to 2017, depending on when you went. You're looking at, I've seen a lot of these lately, and none of them are under $1 million. None of them. And the reason for it is you have 20 years of withholding. See? So if you made $40,000 a year and you paid 30%, that's $12,000. $12,000 times 20 years is $250,000 just withholding. See? And then if you lost a house, add the $200,000 there. If they took a car, see, so the numbers are staggering. See, now what they're saying is they want them dismissed. They're trying to have them dismissed on the grounds they don't have enough people to do it. They want them dismissed because they don't have jurisdiction. And that's funny. They don't want to give the money back because they didn't have jurisdiction, but yet they took it without jurisdiction. So, see, those are the arguments that I want. I want to go to court with one of them. In other words, if they dismiss it because the claims court doesn't have jurisdiction, so they're going to dismiss it, I want to go to court with that person. If they don't have jurisdiction to give it back, then how did they have jurisdiction to take it when they said they didn't have it? See? So something's not going on right here. Just to let you know. Okay, just to let you go ahead. I'm sorry I cut you off.
That's okay. As a result of the house being under lien and me not being able to move or sell or do anything, it's caused me some other financial troubles.
Yes.
How do I prove that, or how much do I have to, what do I have to show them? I don't even know.
Well, see, you're asking me, how long would it take you to go from Los Angeles to Detroit?
Yeah, I got it.
See? Well, are you walking? You're riding a bike? You're riding a motorcycle? You're going by plane? Going by train? See, I don't know that. That's something you'll have to do. But let me just throw this at you. You can't. I'm doing some more research, and they do every single court is a court of limited jurisdiction. So if you're going to go to get a claim, you can get your claim, but you cannot get penalties and interest and hardships and all that. But they do have a court that will pay that. They give you up to 9 times. So if you get $1 million, then you go to this other court that has jurisdiction. They'll give you up to 9 times. So that would be another 9. So the $1 million bump is now 10.
Well, that'll certainly go a long way in the ministry.
Yes.
I can plant a lot of food trees with that kind of money.
That's correct. I also got the Supreme Court case today that if you're wrongfully put in jail, and for those of you, and I'm sorry for it, but for those of you that went to jail on tax, something to do with the IRS, if you go to the tax court and they don't have jurisdiction, when you go to the claims court, I have the case that they said if you're wrongfully incarcerated, it's $1,100 a minute. So if you were there for 3 years, there's, 24 hours a day times 60 minutes. That's per day times 1,100 times 365 times 3. So whatever that number is, $8 million or something like that per year. Now, are you going to get it? Probably not, but you've got a number that you can now negotiate. See, we're hitting them pretty hard, and we've got I got two cases that they're asking to go to arbitration. So what I'm trying to do is, again, I'm trying to see the big picture. I want to go to arbitration, but I don't want to go to arbitration for them to say no. So my question to them is, we'll go to arbitration, but we want it binding. It's binding arbitration. Now they're not so sure they want to go to arbitration. But see, we have to have the rules set before you go. You can't go and then set the rules. See? Does that make sense?
Yes. Now, with my ruling and my copy of my lien, I file in the Court of Claims, correct?
Okay, you're asking me again. You're asking me to give you legal advice. I won't do that. Not here. If you want to know that, you get a hold of Ed. You know how to get a hold of me, and we've had this conversation before. But
okay.
The answer is yes. But again, you have to understand what you're doing. And if you go on the Court of Claims and you do what I did, go through each form. Let me ask you this: what form did you go to the tax court to get your jurisdiction? What form did you use?
The petition kit, petition number 2.
That's correct. You're not going to believe this. When you go to the claims court, that same exact number is on the same form that you go to that court with. So
okay.
When you go there, that's the form you want.
Okay.
Now, do you have any more questions?
No, sir. I'm good. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Gary, I got a question. This is Brian from Austin.
Okay.
I've been chatting with back and forth with Ed because I sent a letter to the Department of Treasury Bureau of Fiscal Services, who is in charge of my monthly annuitant, and I sent them a copy of my court order with a terse letter telling them to cease and desist from gifting a portion of my annuity to the IRS, and they sent me a letter saying that they're obligated to follow whatever the IRS tells them to do.
That's perfect. You just hit a home run. Do you realize that? You just hit a home run.
Oh?
Now, I'm not going to tell you why. You think about it and tell me why you hit a home run.
Well, because they're just following whatever the IRS tells them.
That's fine. Who did you get your court order from? Let's walk this through, and you'll see how I think. From who?
From the IRS.
Nope. You got it from the tax court, correct? You got it from the tax court, okay? The tax court judge signed it, correct?
Right.
Who told you they didn't have jurisdiction?
The commissioner said they didn't have jurisdiction.
Oh. Okay, now the commissioner, he's the janitor. Isn't that correct?
No. Oh, the commissioner's attorney.
No. Who's the commissioner?
The top dog.
There you go. The top dog said they didn't have jurisdiction, and this jackleg said, we're not going to give it to you. Now you got them. So what you do is do not worry about the IRS. What's the weakest link in this chain?
The Bureau of Fiscal Service.
There you go. I would attack them with everything I have. I would go there and tell them, since you won't speak to me, I'm giving you 10 days, 10 working days to give me your bar card. If you do not give me your bar card, take that person to the United States District Court on the grounds they're practicing law without a license. The IRS said you have to pay. The commissioner, his boss, said you don't. So if your car doesn't start, okay, and you go to see Billy's Mechanics, and Billy says, come on in and I'll look at your car for nothing and tell you what's wrong with it. When you get there, the guy looks at it and says, I'm not sure what it is, $50. Tell me what you're going to do. Okay, here's your 50. I'm going to pick up the phone and call Bill. Hey, Bill, you dumb doofus. You said it was nothing. Take care of it. See? That's what we have to do. We have to line this up. There's your one bite at a time. See, we have all the power. We have it all. The problem is when somebody – okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Can I ask you something personal?
Yeah.
Okay, if I put a steel-toed boot on and I kick you in the groin, will it hurt?
Yes.
Okay, would it be because I used a steel-toed boot?
Because you kicked me.
Okay, now, remember what you said. Ed, can you hear me, Ed? All right, Ed, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay, I just kicked him in the groin with a steel-toed boot. Did it hurt?
Not me.
See what you did? You took on yourself to say it hurt. See, if you would have asked me, who would it hurt? That's what we have to do with what you have. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
See, he's telling you, you can't do that. So you say, okay, well, I'm screwed. See? Okay, now let me ask you another question, okay? I put on a glove. I got a glove on, and I poke you in the eye. Will it hurt?
Will it hurt who?
There you go. There's your answer. In other words, you have a court order from the commissioner. You have a letter from the agent. Take that agent to the federal district court on the grounds. See? He's practicing law because his boss said they didn't have jurisdiction. Does that make sense? In other words, stop going to the wrong court, asking the wrong question to the wrong guy, with the wrong judge. Does see where I'm coming from?
Well, that makes sense, but this letter from the Department of Treasury Bureau of Fiscal Service there's no name on here and no one signed that. Nobody signed it anywhere.
Right. Hey, so then what you do is, but you have an address, correct?
Correct.
Do you have a phone number on there?
Yeah.
Now, okay, listen to me. I'm going to make you repeat this. I am not giving you legal advice. Would you repeat that for me?
You are not giving me legal advice, and I'm not asking for it either.
Okay. Call that number and ask who's the commissioner, who's the man with the big fuzzy ones, who's in charge, who's the top dog in that office. Doesn't that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
They're going to give you a name. They're going to give you a name. Now, guess what? Now he's got to make a determination. Does he follow the head man or does he follow this jackleg? I don't make me no difference. In fact, if he follows the jackleg, the Treasury of Physical Services, they have deep pockets because they're part of the Federal Reserve. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's where all the checks come from.
Okay, so guess what? Is it harder for them to write a $100 check, a $10,000 check, a $100 million check, or a $100 billion check? Which one's the hardest for them?
It's all the same to me. And
there you go. Ain't that something? So then you sue them for $100 billion on the grounds you violated my due process. I don't care what it's worth. See? Because if you're the plaintiff, all you have to do is prove it. You're in the driver's seat because you're the plaintiff. Why? Because you filed the lawsuit. Why? Because you have the documents that say they didn't have jurisdiction. Do you know what the word jurisdiction means?
Authority.
Okay. Are you married, sir?
Yes.
Okay. I'll be over tonight to get my husbandly duties on your wife.
Yeah, I answered
Why are
that
you
too
laughing?
quick.
See?
I answered too
Why
quick.
are you there? You see, the problem is I have no authority. None. But if I can bully you, I can convince you that I do. Yay for me, too bad for you. Isn't that true?
Yeah, that's
See?
true.
Now, I want you to think about this. You and I both rob a bank. You rob the bank with a .50 caliber, fully automatic sniper rifle. I rob the bank with a hammer. Who goes to jail? Now, let me throw a few more things at you. The .50 caliber, fully automatic rifle is an illegal firearm. The hammer, I bought it to 5 and dime. Now, who goes to jail?
We'd both be going to jail.
Why? The hammer's not illegal.
Robbing the bank is.
Bingo. See that? They're taking something without jurisdiction. They can't do it. I don't care what they say. I don't get to use a hammer or a slingshot. That's not the issue. Unfocus from that. Focus on what they're doing. What they're doing is without jurisdiction, they're taking your money. They're robbing you. See?
Yeah.
But they're doing it with a smile on their face with a rubber band. Well, they're okay. Why? Because we do it with rubber bands all the time. See? It's not the rubber band. It's not the hammer. And it's not the gun. It's the robbery. And see? Where the problem comes is we get bogged down. Well, doggone it, the IRS agent said, then sue the federal physical, whatever they are. Put them on the notice. Send them a notice. And your court order. Say, you have two options. Cut my check, or I'll see you in court. Because here's the advantage. I want to show you the advantage we have. If you sue the physicals or whoever they were, and you get them in court, what are the odds the IRS agent that said that doesn't say that for them to send it to you, what are the odds of him coming to court?
Oh, he won't show up.
Duh. Now, guess what? You win by default. See?
Yeah. That sounds
Isn't
good.
that something? See? So my question to you is, if I kick you with a steel-toed boot, a rubber boot, or no boot, which one hurts? See?
They're all going to hurt.
That's the position you have them in. You're going to sue the guy. You're going to call him on the phone, get the guy's name, write him a letter. Now you got some communication. Hey, here's what you're doing. Here's my proof. If you send another check, one more check goes to them, I will sue you for violating. And guess what it's called when you do? If the judge tells you you're on probation, come every week and see me in my courthouse, and you don't show up, what do they call that? Contempt of court.
Oh, yeah. Contempt of court, yeah.
So now it's no longer about taxes. It's about what?
Contempt of court.
Now, I'm going to put you in front of a judge, and you're going to argue with the IRS about taxes or about contempt of court on a third party. Which would you prefer?
The third party contempt.
Well, duh. Isn't that what you got now? See?
Yeah.
See? How do you eat an elephant?
One big bite at a time.
See, they're not going to bring you their leg and say, nibble on this. You're going to have to go there and take the chunks off. So you're going to build your case against that guy because that guy can stop sending it immediately. This is what we're doing, okay? Again, I want this to come clear. I'm not giving legal advice. We're going to the Social Security Administration. What we're doing is we're sending them our court order, and we're sending them a cover letter saying, I've taken care of the issue. Stop taking my money. Without fail, they write, so we have to do what the IRS says. No problem. See you in court. Guess what happens?
They stop taking the money out?
Duh. Because they're a third party, and they're going up against a court order. See?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna shoot you with a 9mm. I'm gonna shoot you with a .45 caliber. What do you want me to shoot you with? Your pick.
I don't want to be shot.
See? That's the position they're doing. See?
Okay,
Well, here,
I'll
don't
find
you
out.
shoot me with, there you go.
I'll
See?
find out tomorrow what the top dog is at the Treasury Department.
There you see. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
See?
It does. Thank you. I may call you tomorrow to
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So what we're trying to do here is stop thinking inside the box. Stop thinking the way they tell you to think. See? The reason we're into this problem is the IRS is telling you to do something, and we're just doing it. See? When the IRS tells you to do something, they're lying to you.
Yep.
How do I know they're lying? How do you know the IRS is lying?
Their lips are moving.
There you go.
I yield.
What?
Next.
Hello, my name is Kevin. I received a letter from the court, lack of jurisdiction from tax court. So if I send that letter to my job and stop taking taxes. Oh, okay.
Slow down.
All right.
Okay, slow. Now,
sure.
First of all, you're lying to me. You did not get a letter from the tax court. The tax court doesn't give letters.
Well, I didn't get a letter. Excuse me. I got an order.
Oh, now, see? Doesn't that make a lot of... Now, okay, I'm going to finish answering you, but I'm going to ask you a question. Do you like ice cream? Do you?
No, not really.
See, what you did is you said yes, right? I got my dog when he takes a dump. When my dog takes a dump, it looks just like ice cream.
Okay.
How much of it do you want?
None of it.
Well, see, you're too quick to answer. You did not get a letter from the tax court. How do I know? The tax court does give letters. Do you have it in front of you there?
I have let me pull it up. I have an order from the court.
That's right. Would you read it to us, please, if you don't mind?
Okay,
you do not have to.
Okay, I don't mind. Let me pull it.
Okay, you don't have.
Let me pull it up and find it.
Okay, you do that. You don't have to use your name. You can just say John Doe. This is not about who you are. About what it says.
I don't think. Let me make sure. I don't think I brought it with me to work. I'm at work. I did not bring it with me to work.
Well, are you in front of a computer?
No, I'm at work and I'm at a refinery, so I'm not in front of a computer.
Okay.
But I did get an order, and I know in the order it says they dismissed for lack of jurisdiction because they had no notice of deficiency or notice of collection of deficiency.
See, so you're asking me a question. See what I'm saying? Now let me ask you a question. Do you file returns?
Yes, I did.
See what you just did? So you file a 27932.327 ABC return?
No, I did not.
Well, see,
I don't know what that is.
That doesn't matter. See, you didn't clarify it. You said, "Yeah, I file returns." See? Then,
but I filed a 1040 return.
So you're telling me that all returns are 1040s?
All the ones I filed thus far, yes, it was 1040.
See what you're doing? See, now you're defending the stupid answer. And I don't mean that in any negative way. Don't take it that way. So, ask me the same question. Do I file returns?
Do you file returns?
I'm glad you asked. What type of return?
1040s.
Oh, I can't file a 1040 because in the 1040 booklet it says a return or statement. I use a statement.
Okay.
See, in other words, once I get you down the road a ways, it no longer has the bite. Does that make sense?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Can you ride a bike?
Yes.
Okay, you know those bikes that have that great big gigantic front tire and that one little tire in the back? I want to see you ride it.
Uh-huh.
Can you ride a unicycle?
No.
Then you lied to me. Why do you stand there and lie to us? There's a whole bunch of people on this call that are hearing you lie to me.
Well, you asked me, can I ride a bike and can I ride a unicycle? Those two different things, ain't it?
Okay. Oh, well, okay. Ask me the same question. Ask me the same question.
Can you ride a bike?
What kind of bike?
Okay.
See? Because doesn't that make the whole story different?
You asked. Yes, it does, because you're asking for something to be more specific and definitive.
There you go. So my question is, can you drive a car?
What type of car?
See? Now, doesn't that make the whole story different?
Yes, it does.
See, that's all I'm trying to do is instead of you jumping at saying something before you do it, let's make sure you know what it is that you're answering. Does that make sense? See?
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, and that's all I'm trying to do here, see? So, are you married by any chance?
No.
Okay, so you're not married to your job? How many jobs you got? Well, wait,
given what you're saying, yes, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Okay, so is it a male or a female? See, in other words, you haven't made me define marriage yet.
Right.
See what I'm? See, you're answering
I got you.
That you don't know the answer to.
Right.
See, that's what I'm trying to do, because when the IRS asks you a question, whatever you tell them, the next question's going to see. Then they're going to build. You know what they're doing? They're eating an elephant one bite at a time. See, the IRS is the elephant. We're going to bite. Right. We're going to eat one bite at a time. When you get so many bites done, when you walk into the courtroom, you can carry the elephant in one hand. Why? Because all the bites are gone and there's just one little bite left. See, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get it set up to where you can eat the elephant one bite at a time. You're out there at the refineries. Do you guys wear blue jeans out there?
What kind of blue jeans?
See how simple that was? Now I have to tell you, I'm trying to mislead you so you would say denim. See, denim is a type of jeans. See how simple that is? Just by clarifying it. See that?
Right.
Doesn't that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. Now it does.
Okay. See? Okay, now, do you guys...
Because your response is going to be... Go ahead.
No, your response is going to be by what the question was.
Right.
See? So do you wear a belt out there at the refinery?
What type of belt?
See, I was going to say, if you would have said yes, I'd say a fan belt. You know, like a fan belt on my truck. See? Why would you wear that?
Right.
See? But you see how simple that becomes? All you had to do is make me define what I'm talking about, and then you got it. Now I want to ask you one more question. Do you have any guns?
What type of guns?
See? I have none. I have arms, and I have a right to keep and bear them. But you see what you're doing? You're making me tell you what I really want. I want you to say yes so I can come and have, what do they call that when they, what is that called when they come to your house and they break the door down? They want to come to your house and break the door down. They have probable cause. I have a gun, so now they have probable cause. See, I don't want them coming to my house. So I'm taking away all the probable cause. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. You're removing every. That makes a lot of sense.
Because see, if they ask me, do you have any weapons? No, I have none. I have arms. Well, what do you mean by arms? I don't know, but it says I can keep and bend them. I have a left and a right. I mean, it's what. See, once they say, "What do you mean?" I'm glad they said that. See, because now I can define it. See.
Right. Now it shifts back to you. Once you shift it to them, and they shift it back to you, then you can define what you're saying to them. I got you.
See, where the problem is. What part of the country do you live in?
What part of the country I live in?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
See, you see how simple that was? Duh.
Now the burden shifts back to you. You got to define what part of the.
That's right. See, because
you make me an offer, I go low, make you a return an offer.
That's right. Because see, I'm trying to make you answer what I want you to answer. See,
right.
Now you're answering the question that was asked. Now I'm going to show you. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to preface it. I want you to answer it, and just answer it so I can prove the point. Now I want you to do the same thing to me. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you 3 questions, if you don't mind. All I want you to do is tell me yes or no. Are you in agreement to that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you work at a refinery?
Yes.
Do you drive a vehicle?
Yes.
Are you a man?
Yes.
Okay, now you preface it the same way I preface it, and then ask me any 3 questions you want. But you have to tell me how to answer it, so you have to preface it. In other words, go ahead.
Do you work for the IRS?
Wait a minute. I don't know how to answer it, so you have to say, I'm going to ask you a question, and I need you to answer it, yes or no. Otherwise, I won't know how to answer it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. I need you to answer the question yes or no.
Okay.
Do you work for the IRS?
Yes or no.
Yes or no.
Yes or no. What did you tell me to do?
Exactly that. Exactly what you answered.
Okay.
Do you work for the IRS? Yes or no. And you said yes or no.
Isn't that what you told me to do?
Yes, that is correct. That's what I said to you.
So I answered the question you asked, not the answer you wanted to hear. See, in order for you to get that,
I got you. Because when you asked me the question first, you said, I want you to answer the questions yes or no. Do you work in the refinery? And I said yes, and I should have said yes or no, because that's what the question you asked me. I went around it and gave you something. I gave you something other than what you asked, and that's what you call testifying against yourself.
There you go. Now, I have something that I can use against you. Well, the guy works for a refinery. He works for a refinery. He admitted it. Refineries are part of the oil and gas. Oil and gas, we defined it in our book as income. So he's not. See? In other words, you gave them everything that they need to hammer you. Does that make sense?
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Now, let me show you this one. I'm going to say a word, and then you come back and answer it. Okay? I'm going to, in other words, if I was to say chicken, you'd say egg. So I'm going to say something, and you say something, and then we'll do it the other way. I'm going to say ham. What would you say?
Bone.
Hey, now let's do it. Now this time, let's do it the other way around. You say it this time.
Okay, I'm going to say bone.
No, you say ham.
Okay. What? Repeat that back to me again, so I can gather what you're saying.
This time you say ham, and I'll give you the second name.
Oh, okay. Ham.
Erd.
Ham bird.
Erd. You said ham. I said erd. Hammered. You know what hammered is?
Yeah, I believe so.
when you get too much to drink, what are you?
Hammered. Plastic.
See, you said ham, I said erd. See, you thought I was talking about. See, I said ham, you said bone. I can work with that. You can't work with hammered.
Yeah.
See,
words is very powerful.
So what you try
words
to
are very
do,
powerful.
That's right. That's all I'm saying. See, now if you understand what they're saying, see, they speak a special language. It's called legalese. So
right.
It sounds like English, but they have redefined the words. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So out there at the plant, do you make income?
Excuse me?
Out there at the plant, out there at the refinery, do you make income?
What is income?
See how simple that was? See, now if I don't come back with something, they don't punish you for not knowing. They punish you for willful. See? Did you know you didn't file a 1040? Ain't got a clue. I didn't know. What do you mean I didn't file? I did file. Define file so I can see if we're on the same page. See what I just did? So do you file a tax return of any kind ever?
What is an income tax? I mean, what is a file what? I don't understand that. What?
There you go. See? Okay. My wife files her nails. So no, I don't. Why would I do that with a tax return? That doesn't make any sense. See? They're going to tell me what they're asking. See that?
Right.
So do you ever eat? How many eggs? If you were hungry, how many eggs would you eat for breakfast?
What do you mean? How many eggs would I eat for breakfast?
You don't know what that. If you're hungry, how many eggs would you eat for breakfast?
What egg would I eat for breakfast?
See, well, if I were to say an ostrich egg, an ostrich is like eating 11. So if you're going to eat 3, I don't think you can eat 30 eggs. See? Do you see how you're going to make me tell you what kind of an egg? Because if you're going to eat a robin egg, you're going to probably have to have 60 of them because they're little bitty. But an ostrich egg is the same as what? See? Do you see how I know what an egg is? But if you don't define what it is, you're going to end up saying, well, I would eat 4. That's 40 eggs, dude.
Right. Because you're not defining what type of egg.
See? And they did it on purpose.
Right.
Now, do you know what I'm going to try to do is explain it this way. The Title 26 is split into 2 different categories. Basically, 0000 to 6999 is Title 26. 7,000 to the end of the book is Title 27. So, willful failure to file is 7213, I think. So, what are they talking about?
I have no idea. It can be anywhere, anything.
Well, it's alcohol, tobacco, and firearms because it's 7,000 and above. So everything in Title 26 that's 6999 and below is Title 26. You'll never get indicted for 6999 back. It's always 7,000 above. Willful failure to file 7213. Willful failure to file an income tax return or something. It's 7208 or whatever it is. See, everything that they come after you is 7,000. But that's like words. So if they come after you under 7,000, all you have to do is ask them, man, I didn't know I sold alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. See, make them say, well, you don't. Well, then why are you doing that? See, all you have to do is know a few little things. Now, I'm going to tell you one more quick thing. I was working on a building, and my guys wanted something to drink, so I went down to the 7-Eleven. On the way in the 7-Eleven, they have a big plaque out on the, or a big sign out on the wall, and it says you can't consume alcohol in this building because of the alcohol, beverage code. And then they gave you the code number. So here's my question. You're driving down the road and you're hammered. You can't even walk. And the sheriff pulls you over and gives you a DWI, driving while intoxicated. I want you to think about this. Where does it tell you you cannot drive drunk?
It doesn't. It just says you cannot consume alcohol in the building.
Okay, on that case. But you're driving home from work and you're hammered and you get a DWI. Where does it say you can't drive drunk? Where do they get that statute from?
I don't know.
That's right. Because in the alcohol beverage code, it doesn't give you a drunk reading. It tells you that in the transportation code. The problem is the transportation code doesn't have anything to do with alcohol. Nothing. So we get an attorney, and we fight the ticket through the attorney. The attorney says, you were drunk. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get you a good deal. You're only going to spend 3 days in jail, and you're only going to pay $10,000, and you're going to be on probation for a year. That's all. That's a good deal. If you stay clean, we'll take it off your record. Man, you can't wait to sign that piece of paper. See, we've challenged that several times on the grounds. In the alcohol beverage code, where does it tell me you can't drive drunk? Number 2, is the county court a alcohol beverage code court? And then we shut our mouth. So if the judge says, yeah, we're an alcohol beverage code court, well, let me see it. I didn't see it anywhere. They're not. They're a county court. They can only enforce the county. See, the alcohol beverage code is a state law. But it's not a state law. It's an alcohol law. Does that make sense? That's the same thing as Title 26 up to 6999. Title 26 has no implementing regulations in it. All the implementing regulations is in the alcohol. Same thing here. You get a DWI, the sheriff gives you a ticket. What he says is, well, you broke state law. He's correct. You broke state law, but you didn't break the alcohol law, because the alcohol beverage code does not tell you what is drunk and what is not. Just by knowing what the world of code is or not, what the statute is or not, see the problem? We just run around. See, we run around as dumb as a bag of hammers. See, my brother used to say, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. If you're a screwdriver, everything looks like a screw. And that's what we do. We run around. You know, I'm a contractor, so everything looks like concrete. See?
Hello, Kerry.
Yep.
3 minutes.
That's fine. Let's take one more question if you want to ask, if anybody wants to ask. And while you're thinking of your question, if you have any questions, or if you want anything that we have, get a hold of Ed and he'll get it to you. Now, I have a glossary.
I have a question.
Okay, I'll get to you in 1 second. We won't forget you. I have a glossary page that I use in the court. If you want a copy of it, it's not all inclusive. I'm not telling you that it's brilliant, but get a hold of Ed and he'll send it to you. Then you'll understand some of the words and what they're doing and how we confess the stuff that we're not doing. Go right ahead with your question.
So I have a letter from the U.S. Tax Court, and
Good.
And I have an attorney.
Okay.
That because I don't have an attorney. I don't have an attorney. I'm sorry.
All right.
The IRS attorney wrote a letter, and in the letter he says that I am owing taxes for 2015 to 2018.
Okay. I believe you. I believe him too. You probably do owe taxes. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What kind of taxes do you owe?
I don't know.
See? there's your question. I believe you. I don't ever say they're nuts. I believe you. What taxes? Income taxes. I believe you. Please send me the definition of income so I can pay them. Now, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
There's it. And now, I'm going to throw one more quick thing out there on property taxes. Everybody that has a, what do they call that here? What do they call that? An exemption. What do they call that, Ed, the exemption? What is it? Homestead exemption.
Yeah.
The county does not have jurisdiction to charge you taxes on your house. So that means they cannot charge you taxes on your house. But if you sign this homestead exemption, we'll give you a $50 or $500, whatever, 50% discount, whatever it is. They're going to give you a discount on something they can't even give you. So we sign it saying, I want a discount. If you're getting zero, they can't give you $5,000 off. So they have to raise your taxes in order to give you the $5,000 off. So I hope that made sense. We have a process that we're in the middle of with several people. And we've got them pretty much, they don't know what to do. They're about to tear their hair out. But you got to stay with it. Now,
and I want to say thank you, because I called before, and first they denied it, and you walked me through to refile again. And so when I did refile again, I got the order sent to me.
Well, I thank you for that, and thank you for telling us that. And just to let them know, when you called, did somebody get back to you, me or Ed? Did we get back to you?
When I called you, I asked a question and you answered it.
Okay, so in other words, I am reachable, and so is Ed. We're not just somebody out here that's blown smoke. We've gone through it. Okay, well, I thank you for that, and thank you for being here tonight. And I appreciate you getting it. Now that you have it, if you need help, we'll help you with it.
Yeah, I have the other help that I need is to remove the lien that they have on my name.
There you go. Thank you for sharing that.
Okay, folks. Our next call will be August the 13th. And we thank you for calling in tonight. Enjoyed it.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.